The Dawning, a review. This year, 2018, The Dawning was lackluster at best, and I give it a 6 out of 10, if that's all you're here for. Never mind. But my reasons for 6 out of 10 is very unfortunate. It mostly has to do with Eververse and just the content of cookie making. Alright, hello everyone, my name's BV2Invest, and today I'm going to be explaining my review on The Dawning 2018 for Destiny 2. Now, let me preface this. The Dawning was fun, and unfortunately at that time I was burnt out of Destiny, so I took a break for a little bit. But I still think I have a fair representation of a review for this event. Granted, this is all my opinion, so you can also voice your opinion in the comment section below on what you think The Dawning could have gotten out of 10. I personally think it's a 6, and here are my reasons why. So, when you open up The Dawning, you have to go to Evil Levante. She's back. She's not the final raid boss. I know, crazy. And, yeah, so that's good. And you have to bake cookies with her oven, and then you have to masterwork the oven, and it's really awesome. Like, it was a really cool concept, and I liked it. But, over time, it got boring, and when you got all the gifts and finished all your triumphs, you had like 400 Essence of Dawning and like however many of the ingredients just sitting around. And I already had my God Roll Avalanche at the time, so I had no reason to keep going. And yeah, unlike the Haunted Forest, I found that the Haunted Forest was replayable because the Aldrin Mask took much longer to get. Yeah, and there was no like special item either for the Dawning because there's no keepsakes because all the items from the Dawning, such as the ingredients, were just taken out. They were removed from your inventory. In the Festival of Lost, you have the masks, so at least whenever you want to, you can go and wear them whenever you want. Now, this is the gimmick of the event, and I liked it, so I'm not detracting it for that because it was a good gimmick. All events have to have a gimmick, or they're just the game with an extra thing. And, I mean, that's okay. The Dawning lasted 3 weeks, which means a full cycle of the Dreaming City. Changed nothing. But let's just talk how the Dawning affected the world in general, and let's take a little step back to Destiny 1. Year 1, there was nothing. Year 2, we had Sparrow Racing League. Year 3, we had Sparrow Racing League, the Dawning, Eververse packages, and also strike scoring and reprise strikes. That was awesome. That was amazing. I paid money on Eververse boxes. It was that good. Year 1 of Destiny 2. We had Eververse engrams, which were horrific, by the way. But we also had snowballs on the ground to throw at enemies, and also a hockey rink in the tower, which was awesome. My friends played on, we played on that a lot. Like, that hockey rink was actually amazing. And I don't know where it went. And then year 2 of Destiny 2, we got Evil Levante, cookie making, Eververse packages. And that's it. Like, this felt much more lackluster. Like, the snowballs on the ground were really fun. They did good damage, and they were super helpful. And they're just fun to throw at your friends and throw at other people. And I mean, we couldn't have not gotten a Crucible, and yeah, we got Mayhem back in year 1 and year 2, but where was a game mode where you just throw snowballs at each other, a snowball fight Crucible mode? Like, that would have been awesome. And yeah. Now, let's take a quick look at the triumphs featured in the Dawning, which weren't a thing in year 1, and they were basically all bake this for this person, bake this for this person, bake this for this person. But there was also maxing out the Sparrow, which was the big grind, just like the Aldrin Mask in the Festival of Lost. Now, this Sparrow is cool. It had really cool effects. When you were driving it would poop out glimmer. When you landed a trick, it would do a burst of gifts. And then they took it out at the end of the Dawning. Like, that was the one thing that made that Sparrow cool. And now it's not a very good Sparrow anymore. And it wasn't very good practically. It was just really cool to use because it pooped out glimmer, which I didn't like. But maxing out the Sparrow was a good grind, but that only lasted about 2 out of the 3 weeks, so the third week was really lackluster, but I think this happens for just about every 3-week event Destiny has. Now, I briefly went through the triumphs because my main issue with this event is actually Eververse. They're probably like, BV. Eververse was horrific last year. Now, I know that, but that was because Eververse last year was not saturated the way, was not the problem in the way I think it is a problem now. I thought it was a problem last year because the knockout system wasn't there, so you'd end up getting duplicates, and getting an Eververse engram was so hard to do, and you couldn't get double engrams, and it was just a red-hot mess. Now, you level up, you get 2 engrams, you get an Etched engram, Dawning engram, Winter Drift engram, sorry about that, and there's lots of cool stuff in the Dawning, but year 1, all the ghosts, all the ships, all the sparrows had to do with the Dawning. And that's what made the Dawning special, because everything had to do with the Dawning. It was Dawning, snow, snowballs, hockey, everything. Awesome. Now, yes, the Dawning last year was probably not as engaging as this year, but I'm saying the Eververse engrams this year were way too saturated. Now, I voiced this issue for Festival of the Lost. There were lots of random legendary items in the Eververse loot pool that just made no sense. Now, I'm looking at a list of all the items from Festival of the Lost, and there was a good portion of extra legendary ghosts and ships. There was about 5 of each. It was actually 6 ghosts and 5 legendary ships, 3 legendary sparrows. For the Dawning, we had a total of like 10 of each. 10 ghosts, 10 ships. Which was very stupid, I think. Like, we have Avalanche, which is the weapon this year. So, Rip Zephyr, if you wanted to get that. You had the full sets of armor, 15 pieces total. You had your emotes. You had the baking cookies for $10 US, United States. You had the hockey stick emote, which was good. The 2-player emotes, which were good. The other dance that was in there, which was good. You had your ghost projections, which were cool. I like ghost projections just as much as the next guy. You had the Dawning Cheer Sparrow. You had the 2 exotic ghosts, the Snowball and the True North. You had the the 2 ships, the Glad Tidings and Home Away, and the legendaries. You had 2 emblems from completing triumphs. You had the shader Aniline Shock and Resilient Laurel, and then you had 4 new transmat effects: the gifts, the blizzard, and the 2 blue ones. Now you're probably like, that sounds like Festival of Lost in just about every other event. Now, you should look at the legendary ghosts and ships. Almost none of them have to do with the Dawning. The Dawning features 3 simple colors: blue, gold, and white. And possibly some other stuff if they're going to throw that in. Maybe a snow effect. Unfortunately, almost every legendary ghost and ship was painted in such a way that it just looked average, plain. It looked like it came out of a regular Eververse engram. I literally couldn't tell. Like, we got some with green, we got some with blue, like, not the Dawning blue, like, just blue, like, a blue and orange, and then we got some with magenta, and we got ones that look rusty, and we got red ones, and I don't get that. This saturation is what led me to not get every Eververse item this year. Now, obviously, no one's going to get every Eververse item, because it's just hard, and doing it without paying money can be difficult and finessing the system. But I thought, if these ghosts and ships had to do with the Dawning, I'd be like, okay, I'll give that a pass, but almost none of them did. There was what looks like, there was like 2 ghosts and 2 ships, legendary, that had to do with the Dawning, and I think what Bungie should do for the next event, which I believe is Crimson Days, is weapon, armor, emotes, I don't know, let's just say 2 exotic ghost shells again, and then 4 or 5 legendary ghosts that have to do with the Dawning. Red, black, and red and black. Give that crimson color. Do some ghost projections. Do some sparrows. Legendaries, do 4 or 5. Do like 2 exotics. Ships, 4 or 5 legendaries that have to do with the event. 2 exotics. And then do your transmat effects, shaders, and emblems. I don't understand. As much as it is consumer friendly, considering you get 9 engrams a week at an increased rate with the buff from the weekly reset, this issue is something I don't like. Now, I've already said that 500 times, but I cannot reiterate this enough. We have an event for the holidays that's blue, gold, and white for the dawning, snow everywhere. There were no snowballs in patrol mode. There were no hockey rinks in the social spaces. The cookies were cool. I liked that. The Eververse engrams were oversaturated with many items that have nothing to do with the event. And the armor looked cool. Yes. And the $10 emote was cool too. I bought that. That was very nice. I liked the emote. And the Dawning Cheer Sparrow was a good grind as well. Now, I think that sums up what I want to say right now. And that's basically my review. I'm giving it a 6 out of 10 because it meets standards to be a good event, but it doesn't exceed anything and has many lackluster things that could have been there or should have been there. So, yeah, 6 out of 10. Let me reiterate the pros and cons of what I say this event has. Pros: the armor looks cool. The emotes are cool. A good portion of the exotic Eververse items are very cool. The Dawning Cheer Sparrow was a good grind. Avalanche is a fantastic machine gun. And the Cookie Giving and Evil Levante was a very good concept and was very fun to do. But the cons, which really detract from this event, are the 3rd week grind. There's nothing to do on the 3rd week because I've already done everything on this by the 2nd week. The oversaturation of Eververse engrams with items that have nothing to do with the Dawning. No snowballs from last year on patrol mode. And also no hockey rink in the tower or the farm. So yeah. I'm not trying to complain. I'm trying to have a discussion. Did you guys enjoy this event? I enjoyed it just as much as the next guy, but I have many issues that lowered my rating on this. So, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, a comment, subscribe, and share it with your friends. And if you enjoyed, put in the comment section. Tell me, what did you think of this event? What would you rate it? What pros and cons do you have to this event? And let's have a good old discussion about this. Like, I'll look at what you think, and I'll look at what someone else thinks, and we can all have, like, a big, hearty discussion. You know, someone could say 10 out of 10 because they like this. Someone could say 1 out of 10 because they didn't like this. And, yeah. Yeah, I think that's about it. And last but not least, if you didn't enjoy the video, leave a dislike. And tell me in the comment section how I can improve for later. And with that, this is The Dawning, a review, 6 out of 10. Eververse engrams need to not be as saturated. Bungie, please. Thank you, and have a nice day.